Hello fellow academics and welcome back to Beavtorio. This time in a regular season. There's some weird stuff going on over here. Don't know if you guys saw that there. Whatever that is. Anyways, we are in overall a pretty good situation. There are a couple of things that we want to address in this episode. One is definitely a little bit more food supply, because I'm a bit worried that this will run out pretty quick, especially since we're using our carrots to supply our bots with, well, fuel. So first step, we're gonna high prioritize the medium tank. And then we do have 15 unemployed beavers, so let's think about giving them something to do. I think first, the very first thing that we're planning to do is put in another farmhouse. Well, because for one, we have the space. Well, sort of space, I guess. But more importantly, yeah, like I said, we just need some more food. So we're placing that one right here. Set this on highest priority because we will be lacking, at least my guess, a ton of logs. So we do technically have halfway systems around, so nobody actually needs to go this way. So I think what we should do in order to make better use of that, because they can't always just zip line around, right? Let's get rid of the path. Again, mostly because we don't need it. If I can get rid of it. Yep. Should actually... Oh, quite a lot of potatoes. And we do not have storage for that. So let's go ahead, just to be on the safe side, and put a medium warehouse storage for potatoes in. Potatoes, here we go. Set this on highest priority as well. We're a bit low overall on water back here. We do have water coming in from this side. There's still bad water coming out this way. So much bad water stored in this pipe. So we might really need to expand sort of the flow rate out of this way. Anyways, that is future worries. So, well, with all of that, we can't really plant. Well, I guess we can plan for more carrots, but obviously it won't actually supply us with any more carrots anytime soon. Could remove that platform. Might as well leave it in. No harm done. And then, like I said before, we're just gonna remove all of... Oh, it lagged. There we go. All of the paths over here. And I guess we kind of need to connect this up somehow. What would be the best way to connect this up? Let's for now remove all of the paths. And I am thinking maybe... Haha, that's actually not a good spot. Because remember this stuff? That's where we will have that very natural waterfall coming down. So not a good spot to place a farmhouse. We did get a little bit more space, so let's fill this up with additional things. And then figure out where else we're gonna place this. I think there's a couple other things that we probably want to consider, especially now that we see there's not enough water for us, basically. Is that? It's almost about to tip over, which is good. But we kind of want to keep better water supply to our trees back here. So these are actually almost ready to be harvested. So let's go ahead for now and remove the replant procedure over there for all of these. Yeah, some of them might take a little bit longer. And then we can just go ahead, put in a levee system. What would be the best way to actually place it? I guess we could technically just blow up a little bit of this to allow our beavers to create a bit more water storage here. And then we just keep that 2 deep. Just like that. Actually don't need this up here. No, we'll build it up one more. I think that'll give us a good amount of, or enough water storage space over here. Right. Next thing, like I said, put in a little bit of dynamite here and make sure everything is prioritized here as well, so that this gets just built. Still coming out with bad water. It's crazy. I don't think we really need this part here. I'm a bit worried about the overall water supply. Now this doesn't actually look too bad anymore. But when you look over here, that looks very red. So we could actually just extend all of this by 1. That should be easy enough to do. So let's plan for that as well. However, the problem is that we kind of need to wait for the bad water to stop flowing. So we can just blow this up and add another layer next to it. Right. Hopefully that won't take too long anymore, but we'll see. All right, some of that is in already, not completely. I guess that is okay. Let's explode these as well. And this is kind of starting to tip over as well. And like I said, kind of my worries are coming true that we are starting to lack a little bit in terms of food. So instead of putting a farmhouse here, I'm actually gonna put in a efficient farmhouse right there. Put that back in 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's just place you here. I think that's a good spot overall. Highest priority. And while I wanted to keep this free for future farming expansion, I don't think we need to worry about this. We should be more worried about our food supply for now. So let's go ahead and place carrots over there all over the place. How are the trees coming along? Not quite well. We are losing too much food for my taste. So I am going to start chopping this down because while it is nice to have the added treated planks, we don't really need them. I'm gonna set all of these to replant the dead trees. So they definitely have something to do, well, once the water increases overall. All right. Are the beavers currently heading down this way? Yep, they are. All right. All right. So we're building in an additional water storage in the back here, but I also think we need to do the same over this way, keeping again a little bit more of this area green, as you know it should be. So what I think we're gonna plan over here is to remove the next drought is already approaching. Yeah, not good timing, but we'll be okay. So we'll remove these carrots, so they shouldn't be replanted. Same with the ones down here. How long? Oh yeah, only 14% in. I think that's fine. And we're then just going to set up. So we will have a water dump right here. And then we can build this up like that. Actually, we don't need that corner piece. Should they be able to reach it? They should be able to reach it. You're not connected. I guess that makes sense. Let's connect you back in. Oh. There we go. Fully connected. Should be able to get the potatoes. Well, they are gone. So I guess that's all right. I wonder if we put a staircase in this direction, if we could access this part right there. I don't know, to be honest. Anyways, water is coming in here. We only have 2.4 more days. There's also still water moving in there. Might also be worthwhile trying to raise this up. Because we will never really utilize that bottom part right here. So we could try to fill this up, potentially with or dirt. Shall they ever finish these pieces right there? All right, good. Farmhouse is in though, so they should be starting to plant more carrots. And it is high time. We're only 150 carrots left. So let's plant a few more carrots on these dead bushes. This farmhouse can actually reach all of them. And I think we're also gonna plant more carrots down here. It was kind of a nice idea to keep sort of the pathway up and running. I think this is much, much more important. Let's also go ahead, high priority on these levies right here. 43%, so that's kind of coming along. And our trees, we're gnawing these away. Did I ever set these to be cut down? I did not. So let's go ahead and do that as well. And we do have more oak trees coming in back here. All right, starting to look overall pretty okay. We do have 7 bots now running around doing nothing. So I think we're gonna put them into one of our farmhouses. Right there. And maybe we're also gonna go ahead and deselect the rest of these pine trees from being replanted. Once they are gone, we can populate this with even more carrots just to make sure we have the food production that we really need. You guys can also reach this area right there. Definitely planting that. Nobody can reach this. All right. Let's go ahead and demolish these resources. While it is a bit of a shame to do so, I think it's needed. You guys are too far, aren't you? Huh. All right. I guess good to know. But we're gonna start making quick progress over in this corner. I will need to figure out a way for them to go down here though. So let's go ahead for now and place a staircase in here. You guys will be able to reach that sooner rather than later. Gonna remove you. Don't need this path here. Don't actually need a path on top here either. And then they can start building all of that. Also gonna put in dynamite, and we're actually making this deeper. Will not make this deeper than it has to be. So we're gonna go 1 deeper than it already is. And with this one, I'll actually go 2 deeper. Can wait until we build this one. But yeah, I think with that coming into place, it's definitely helpful. All right. Also gonna spread out this way, making sure we're connecting through here. And, well, they can reach one more, which means with the 2 more path pieces that come in there, we should also be able to put the last explosive into this corner as well. Right, 100 carrots left, so that is not a lot. Let's add more of this and actually replace another one of these farms with bots. In the meantime, they've put some dynamite in down here, so let's blow this away. There's still water coming out, not out of this. Interesting. But we can now actually deal with this part right here. So let's destroy this. This will also give us a good amount of logs back, which will help us in the back there. High priority on that. And then we're going to set up dynamite along this path all the way to the end. All the way to the end. To kind of just wrap this up. Now, we will briefly need to disconnect this as well. Because all of this needs to move up 1 level higher, just a little bit earlier. Alright, so let's go ahead and remove these. Also need to remove this one. And then go in, high priority for taking all of this and putting in our single dynamite layer over there. Highest priority on these as well. Which also makes me think we should already plan to have a few more builder posts. For now, we're just gonna place them up here, even though in the long run, we're gonna clear this out. How are things going back here? The double dynamite is in. All of this has been put in place. Good. Food is growing in again. Nice, nice. Looks like we're still overall okay. Food is still going down, but for now I'm not too worried about it. All of these trees have kind of come and gone, which I guess is fair. We could also switch you out for bots, so let's do that. But we will need to keep an eye on our biofuel production, because that not only takes some of our food away, but oh, look at that. Can you guys even reach it? Yes. Prioritize carrots, please. These are almost the only carrots in there. And we're prioritizing harvesting for now as well. And then I'm gonna put it back on planting and nothing in terms of the resources. And I think the problem is that I've set these up to be demolished. Now they are getting harvested. Much better. Alright. So this is being done. We have the dynamite in over here. So let's go ahead and detonate this. Gonna destroy the levee here. And put in, well, making sure this is on highest priority so they pick it up. Once they do, because I don't want it to actually move in the back here. We also... Oh. We first need to put impermeable floors on this stuff. Set this up at highest priority. Now they have picked up that thing in the back as well. Not a levee. We want to put in... Also not that. It's late. Put in another sluice. And in front of the sluice, we're gonna continue with these single platforms along the entire way. And then add our impermeable floors on top of this. Let's make sure they prioritize this over building all the platforms down here. Because, again, a bit more important. Also prioritize these. And then we need to make sure that we're connecting this one back up. Which is actually not a big problem. We just need to kind of put in what I had removed. So 2 up, connected in here. And I didn't need to remove that corner piece. But, you know, that is okay. Let's make sure the connection is fully in there, so we make good use of the wind power that is in the corner there. Alright. No more added water supply. Not too bad. Food supply is slowly climbing up, so that is overall good. Why aren't you harvesting the carrots back here? Huh. Alright, we're gonna switch you out. You down here are gonna be our bot farmers now. Maybe that will help get this stuff done a little bit faster. And then we're also gonna add a levee part over here. I am wondering if this might be a little bit too small to keep that area green. But look at this area down here, actually. Let's go ahead and plant more carrots. Alright. Carrots are gone up here now, which means I can seal this off. Make sure all of this is the highest priority. Didn't need to finish building the wooden stairs, to be honest. They can build all of this. Great. And then we're also gonna set in our dynamite in here. Too far to be reached? Soon. Right. Overall, that's looking pretty good. In the meantime, let's look over here. That is coming along really nicely. All the dynamite is in as well. So let's detonate this. There we go. And now we're gonna keep adding one platform over here, highest priority. Also gonna put the impermeable floor in on top, highest priority, so we can make sure this path is connected again. Not that we really need to have this fully connected, but that'll be good to have overall. Makes me wonder if this will like flood out like it did over here. I guess it hasn't in the past, so it should be fine. Continue with the impermeable floors on top. Highest priority, then this is done and we don't need to think about it anymore at all. And hopefully this will help with getting the bad water out a little bit faster. Right. Food seems to have stabilized overall. Also need to make sure these dynamite things come in quickly. Don't need this anymore though. So can delete this. And put in another fluid dump back here. Speaking of fluid dumps, let's finally replace them with bots. Well, this one here at least. Overall, looking pretty okay, I would say. And then we're also gonna keep building this part right here. So for now, at least, we have a constant water supply. In the long run, we probably wanna redevelop this part a little bit. Make sure that the water that comes in kind of fills up sort of a top narrow ribbon around there. I think that would be good. But yeah, we'll see. Future worries, future worries. For now, all that is in. Detonate. Highest priority on this one. Set it up to be one of our plots. And again, food seems to be climbing up, which is good. Alright. In the meantime, they are actually building all of the soil pillars up here, which is very nice to see. And this entire project is still coming along overall pretty okay. Pretty okay. It might be worthwhile. I guess we have nothing to connect this in. Now that I've played with the leaf codes, the benefit of having a third connection into one of these is like insane. Right? It makes the transportation much more comparable to the Iron Teeth. So much better. Right, how's this coming? We're needing planks, which means we need logs, which means, yeah, we need everything, as usual. I guess we could try to simplify this a little bit as well, flatten it out a bit, but I guess we don't quite need that. Look at that though. That second channel up here, basically ready. Basically. Close at least. So we don't need to worry about that anymore. Don't need that many beavers technically to dig out dirt. We do have still 3 bots. Let's actually switch out this farm for bots. Because again, kind of just want to make sure we keep the overall food production stable. Right. We should also probably consider expanding our food repertoire by adding an aquatic farmhouse in there. And we can already plan for that. So, well, let's do that. And we just actually don't need to build this one over here. How much dirt do we have? 66. Actually, not bad. No, let's leave it like that. However, this can already be a dirt plot. And then we're going to put this path underneath our buildings, which I think looks quite nice. Technically don't need these stairs anymore, so we could remove them. Might as well leave them in, to be honest, though. And we can take out this piece of the path. Why did we have these down here? I do not remember anymore, to be honest. Didn't we had talked about, I think, putting a tunnel through here to have a more direct water supply chain. Yeah. Anyways, more importantly, more terrain blocks, because we want to make sure that we start building up our aquatic crops. Could technically fill this all up. I want to leave a little bit of a gap, because I'm pretty sure the depth of this directly affects how much of the back here is hydrated. Although with the water tank that's now in, we probably don't need to worry about it too much anymore. Cool. 28 unemployed beavers. Food supply is going up. Water supply seems steady, to be honest. So maybe I didn't actually need to put in this farmhouse. Or we could do instead, though. Could we get somehow over this way? I think we can manage that. Even just from up here, right? So let's see. I guess currently they can't actually get up there. So what we can do, yep, put a staircase just like that. Obviously not. There we go. Make a connection here. And then we can go ahead and put double dynamite on these. Single dynamite on all of these. And then triple dynamite on all of that. This would need to be a single dynamite at the first level. Can do that. Would we be able to get over here? Not at the moment. But if we put 2 more platforms in there, I guess we only can reach the back in that case. Alright, maybe we don't need to over-engineer this. Even this little bit of extra space will ultimately help us with the planting of additional crops, and that will help us supply more of our colony with the food that it needs. We might even move this farmhouse ultimately in this corner and then have staircases down this way to utilize that new green area back there. In the meantime, they should also focus highly focus on these levees. There we go. But I also want to make sure, again, that we have enough food supply. So let's high prioritize the platforms and the staircases as well. At least they don't need a ton of logs. So that's overall pretty good. We are now, should be running pretty low on, yep, we don't have any resin anymore. Awesome. But let's see. Do we need to worry about the bad water contamination up here? I don't think we have to. So let's go ahead and unmark these again from cutting. I guess these have already been grown. So good size. Should probably unpause. Do we have one of these unpaused? We have 2 of these unpaused. You can't reach all of this. I'm actually gonna pause you. Unpause you. We have 2 over here. I guess we don't need 2 at the moment. So there we go. Yeah, look at that. That dynamite is already in. Means we can explode this back part here. And then also high prioritize this. And I'll wait until I explode these away. Until, you know, we're actually in a much better space. Alright. Food shortage circumvented. Water supply looking good overall. And additional food production is coming in as well. With that, I'm gonna call it an episode. So thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.